Hello there, and welcome to YouTube. This is specifically for YouTube. This is not going on the podcast. This is exclusive content for YouTube. So, really excited that you're here. What I'm covering today is we're in regards specifically to copyright infringement, but I'm covering this because it's coming up on holiday season, and I see this coming up now more than any other time of the year. So I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now. I used to own a clothing boutique. I had a brick and mortar store. I manufactured. Then I switched over to legal exclusively. And I work with a lot of boutique clients, a lot of designers. I work with a lot of creators. So I am in it as far as I can be in it without actually selling again. So I represent a lot of boutique owners. I represent a lot of designers, like anything in the industry, like I represent them. So a couple things I want to cover today. Number one is mainly copyright infringement, but specifically is selling other people's designs or selling other people's trademarked goods. So all in all, we're covering intellectual property, but I'm not covering patents. That is not my forte. I can get you help with a patent attorney if you need it. So just let me know if you ever need a recommendation for that. So first of all, copyright infringement. This is protecting your creative work, your blog posts, your videos, your photos, your website copy, your designs, all of your creative work. It is most likely protected with a copyright. Now, trademarks are your branding. This is what identifies your brand as a whole, your brand name, your logo, your slogan, a product name, a podcast name. For the most part, if it is something that identifies your brand, it's one and done. So typically you do it once and you're done. Copyrights, you're consistently producing them. And it doesn't always mean one and done. Like you can recreate your logo every couple of years, which I see a lot, but for the most part, it's one and done or one every couple of years. Now, specifically, really quickly, what I want to cover is Louis Vuitton and other luxury brands. So if you ever sell any other brand, whether it's a luxury brand or not, be very, very careful because it could be some kind of infringement. Now, you can absolutely sell wholesale. You can have a wholesale account with a brand. However, if that wholesale account is not directly with the brand or you don't have a commercial license directly with the brand, be very, very careful. If you sell Disney goods, you can go directly to Disney to get a commercial license to sell their goods. Louis Vuitton, you cannot go to them to get a commercial license. So if anybody ever tells you, and I see this all the time on Etsy, where you can go search like Louis Vuitton and they're like, oh, commercial license for this. They don't have an actual commercial license to sell you. So for our clients, we work with a lot of designers and we're constantly looking for infringers selling their designs because they're constantly being ripped off. Well, a lot of times somebody will find somebody that was selling their design and they're like, oh, I bought this commercial license off Etsy. And we go find them on Etsy and we're like, oh, well, actually they didn't have rights to sell you. So when you find somebody selling a commercial license on Etsy, be very, very wary because they probably don't actually have rights to sell you to begin with. And if you're selling the license, be careful because you can get in trouble and the people that buy it from you and then sell it, you can get in trouble for what they're selling. Be very careful with that. Now, it's the holiday season. A lot of shopping is going to be going on. And let's touch specifically on Louis Vuitton. So, a lot of times, Louis Vuitton will just send out waves of cease and desist letters, whether it's for counterfeit goods, trademark infringement, or copyright infringement. Typically, they have a different law firm for each of those things. And when those letters get sent out, I always know because a lot of people come to me. So typically there's 3 different firms. It's normally the same attorneys with each firm, but I get the letters. And in my experience, I'm not saying this is what happens every single time, but in my experience, number one, if it is counterfeit, so if you create a t-shirt and put something Louis Vuitton on it, that is counterfeit. That is not authentic goods. You can get in trouble for that. And if you're selling enough of it, they can bring the feds in. So always, always, always steer clear of counterfeit goods. Where it gets a little tricky is if you add some bling to a bag. Let's say you're selling a Louis Vuitton bag, authentic. You add some jewels, you add some fringe. That's most likely okay. And I'm not going to say 100% okay. I'm just saying most likely okay, because Louis Vuitton, I don't think they've ever sued on it. And I'm pretty sure they've never sued on it. And really, they probably won't because of the first sale doctrine. They're essentially, people call it fair use. And because it's an authentic product that has been purchased from Louis Vuitton, the person that purchased it, they can do what they want with it. Now, where it gets really, really, really tricky, and Louis Vuitton loves to send letters out around this, is when you have an authentic Louis Vuitton bag, it's cut up and then made, other products are made from it. So they add just like the LV logo or one part of their logo to a hat, to a wallet, to another product. The other product is not a Louis Vuitton product, but it's using the LV logo, it's using one of their, something authentic from their bag. Louis Vuitton loves to send out letters from these, but I will say they have not sued over this. And I don't think they're going to, because if they sue and lose, the floodgates are open. So what they do is they just send out waves of cease and desist letters, and they know who the real culprits are. They know the people who are actually creating it and selling it. Those are the people you need to watch. When they get sued, that's when you need to get worried, if they get sued. I know that, I mean, they have their own lawyers. They have, I've seen the letters that have been sent to Louis Vuitton. Basically, if they're going to sue anybody, they're going to sell the people making those products. Now, I don't want to name them here, but if you know, you know. I typically represent when they get the cease and desist letter after buying it from those people and then selling it. And I mean, what you want to do is up to you. But in my experience, Louis Vuitton doesn't take it any further. If you respond, if you don't respond, they don't sue. They have not sued anybody for cutting up a bag, putting it on a new product, and then selling it. Are they going to? I don't know. I personally do not think so, because if they sue and then lose, the floodgates are open. And actually, one of my good friends actually just won a similar case in the watch industry, Vortic Watches. He spent, I think it was like 6 years fighting this, and it correlates. It's not the exact same case, but it correlates. And I know for a fact that other luxury brands, any other brand, was watching this case for watches because of the similarities. And I know if anybody sues, they're going to refer to Vortic. And guess what? Vortic won. So it would essentially be the smaller boutiques that won. So I'm not saying to go and do all this crazy stuff with Louis Vuitton, but rule number 1, do not ever sell counterfeit, unauthentic Louis Vuitton material. If it's authentic, that's where it really is a big gray area. Now, besides selling Louis Vuitton or Disney or Starbucks, if it's any counterfeit stuff, like if you print out a Starbucks logo and put it on a cup, like that is not okay. Like, that's illegal. That's selling counterfeit material. Even if it's not a luxury brand or a big brand like Starbucks, Disney, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, any of those big brands, it is still copyright infringement or trademark infringement if you are taking that design from another brand. It does not matter how big or small they are, it is still copyright or trademark infringement. Be original. And right now, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like every single day on TikTok, a big brand is complaining about somebody taking their work, using their photos, taking their designs, whatever it is, and they reach out and try to educate, and the other person's just like, F off, I don't care. Don't be that person, because it's still copyright infringement, it's still trademark infringement. So do not use other people's work. Let's say you are a clothing boutique owner, you buy wholesale from a brand. If you ask them if you can use their photos and they say yes, that is a license. That is all you need to use somebody else's work. You need permission, which is just a license. So if you ask them, they say yes, great, there you go, that's your license. Ideally, you want it in writing. However, I'm very realistic. I've been in the industry for quite a while, and I know that a lot of times it does not come in writing. So, number 1, do not use other people's photos when it comes to any time of year, but really this holiday season. I know everybody's going to be buying from overseas. I don't want to name all the sites, but they're going to buy from overseas, try to flip it, make a quick buck in a Facebook group or wherever. Don't use other people's photos. Even if the manufacturer gives you the photos, it's not the photo of the manufacturer. It is somebody else, most likely here in the US, who created the product. The manufacturer took their photos and the manufacturer told you, here, this is what we can provide you. And then you ask the manufacturer, hey, if I buy these, can I use your photos? The manufacturer is going to say yes, because they don't care. Most likely, they're not going to sue overseas for copyright infringement. The people that do that are typically the bigger brands, the luxury brands, but small creators, small boutique owners here typically don't have the funds to do it. However, if it is copyright infringement, the most cost-effective way to get rid of it is to submit an online takedown. This is a DMCA takedown. Pretty much every online platform has this reporting form, whether it's on Amazon. If you have any Amazon, Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, a Shopify website, any third-party platform that's hosting the content, it can get taken down. All you have to do is submit a copyright takedown, also known as a DMCA reporting form, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. All of those are how you can get the content removed without having to sue. You don't even have to have an attorney involved. Let me know if you want me to do a walkthrough of that. I can absolutely do that. So don't use people's photos. And seriously, somebody worked very, very hard on those photos. That is somebody's livelihood, those photos. So please do yourself a favor, be a creator, be creative yourself, take your own photos. Even if it is a product that you're allowed to sell, just take your own photos. Whoever takes the photo has the copyright rights. You do not need a copyright registration to have federal copyright rights here in the US. And designs, don't steal designs. I know we all have, a lot of people have this idea in their head somewhere like, oh, the 30% rule. Somebody started this somewhere. There's no such thing. Oh, there's this design, but if I change it up 30%, I can use it. Not a thing. If it is substantially similar, it is copyright infringement. What is substantially similar? I don't know. Nobody really knows. It is hard to know what exactly is substantially similar because a lot of people do not actually sue for copyright infringement because it's hard to prove, number one, what substantially similar is, and the damages. Damages are really, really hard in copyright cases because let's say I created a design, I made $1,000 off of it, you stole my design and put it online and you made $1 million from it. I may want to say, oh, I was damaged $1 million, but that's not the case because as I can only prove, I only made $1,000. And there's no guarantee that I would have made $1 million if you didn't sell that and steal my design and make $1 million. So it's really hard to prove damages in copyright cases. Also, I didn't want to go into this many details about copyrights in this video, but we're here, let's do it. For copyright infringement, if you have the copyright registration before somebody infringes, you are eligible for statutory damages. Long story short, it's easier to prove damages and the other party has to pay your attorney fees. Probably won't go all the way to trial, but having that registration, being eligible for statutory damages, it is a huge bargaining chip. I could go on all day long about copyrights, but I will leave it here because I don't want to confuse you. Drop your questions, your comments. Let me know what more detail do you want on this. I know the holidays are quickly approaching. Black Friday is just a few weeks away. It's going to be crazy this holiday season, so let me know what your questions are. Do yourself a favor. Don't steal photos. Don't steal designs. Be creative. Sell your own stuff. I'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, please, and thank you.